The big story right now, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi has met with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh just a short while ago. Now, this comes after Rahul Gandhi's public outburst last week against the ordinance on convicted netas, something that embarrassed the Prime Minister while he was outside the country and conducting several important bilaterals. Now, the two met for around 20 minutes at the Prime Minister's residence, and according to sources, Rahul Gandhi explained to the Prime Minister the context of his remarks. He apologized and expressed regret over the timing and the manner in which he spoke out against it. He told the Prime Minister that at no point did he mean to undermine him and the cabinet. The ordinance, remember, was approved by the Congress core group, including Sonia Gandhi, and passed by the cabinet. It is currently with the President. Well, let's go across to Sunil Prabhu, who joins us from outside the Prime Minister's residence. So, Sunil, finally that meeting taking place between Rahul Gandhi and the Prime Minister after that public outburst. Give us more details of what transpired at that meeting.
Well, it was a one-on-one meeting, so really those details are just filtering out. It will take some time before we get any kind of source-based information, but what we have been made to understand is that Rahul Gandhi explained the context to the Prime Minister of his remarks that he made, basically to reassure the Prime Minister at no stage did he attempt to undermine him or his cabinet. Yes, he is convinced about the fact that the ordinance needs to be withdrawn, and he says that out of conviction because he himself has been the General Secretary of the Congress Party for many years now, and he's tried to decriminalize politics there and to ensure that criminals with people with a criminal background do not contest the Youth Congress elections, where he's tried to do it democratically. So it's in that backdrop that whatever has happened has unfolded. And of course, the Prime Minister giving a patient hearing and being extremely gracious and dignified and understanding, as he said, about the reasons for why he said that. And now, of course, the Congress core group will have to take a formal decision about going back on that decision.
All right, but Sunil, the matter of Rahul Gandhi's outburst, the kind of words he used at a time, as of course you pointed out, when the Prime Minister was abroad and holding several bilaterals, the BJP of course has already attacked the government over and attacked the Prime Minister as well. Do you really think the matter will end at this?
Well, it will to a great extent. It will take some time for the scars to be healed. The wounds are fresh. There's no doubt it has caused an embarrassment. It's a high-handed behavior of the Congress party in the manner in which they have dealt with its allies. This has caused not only an embarrassment to the Prime Minister, who was all set to meet President Obama internationally, it's also caused embarrassment to its allies. It's also a situation where the government realizes that it cannot press further because it can get embarrassed if the President returns the ordinance. That's why the Prime Minister will be meeting the President. So there are a lot of contours to this entire decision that has to be taken. The cabinet has to take, was the one which had requested the President to promulgate an ordinance. The cabinet will have to request the President once again to withdraw that ordinance. No less than the cabinet will have to take that decision, and that's how we'll have to wait for the situation to unfold. Let's remember there is political hypocrisy on everybody's part, not only Rahul Gandhi, but all political parties. All political parties have been together at an all-party meeting to ensure, after the July 10 Supreme Court order, that it should be overturned and protection must be given to convicted MPs and MLAs sitting in particular. And it's in that backdrop that this decision was taken, and it was discussed in the cabinet not once but twice in the core group. It was only after the core group and where Mr. P. Chidambaram, who is the finance minister, who really told the core group about the pros and cons, that a decision was taken, the decision to send it to a cabinet with the approval of what they call, it is to seek the approval of the cabinet was taken at that core group meeting. So it's in that backdrop that all these incidents have taken place. How it unfolds in the next few hours is a matter of detail. It will be definitely to withdraw because publicly they need to be seen on the right side of the fence. Because this is an election year and you can't be seen as being part of criminals or people who have been convicted, and you're trying to give protection to them. So that's the writing on the wall. How it unfolds is a matter
Right.
of detail, but it will definitely go ahead in the next few hours.
Right, Sunil. What of the allies? Now, many of them have been very uncomfortable with the manner in which this entire episode has played out, especially the way in which Rahul Gandhi spoke out and called the ordinance passed by the cabinet as he said, deserving to be torn up and thrown away. So, what of the allies?
All the allies, not only the NCP, the National Conference, the IUML, the Ajit Singh, they're all very small allies who have really left in the who support the UPA now, and those allies have been disgusted and embarrassed. They feel this is an internal Congress fight, and it has needlessly embarrassed them. It's not as if the Congress core group would have listened to them. They would have been, as they say, completely negated because their voice is small and they would not have been heard. But nevertheless, now that the damage has been done, they will wait for the Prime Minister to convene the cabinet meeting. Some of them are expected not to even attend the meeting, and then of course we wait for that decision of the Union Cabinet to withdraw the ordinance.
All right, Sunil, and finally, of course, the other issue, which of course you were talking about, how the UPA is now going to, and the Congress going to bring itself out and do some sort of face saving and bring itself out of this entire ordinance crisis, as it were.
Yes, that's right. They will definitely try to find a face-saving formula. They have tried to see that one way or the other, as the Prime Minister himself, extremely gracious and dignified. He has been on the attack, and when he keeps telling the opposition, he has always been disgraced. He was not even allowed to, introduce his Council of Ministers. To a great extent, what Rahul Gandhi did, the timing, was a great insult to him. In a way, because here he was getting ready for an international meeting with the US President, and to some extent he was felt undermined. He has made no bones about the fact that he feels upset about it, and he has heard from Rahul Gandhi. He's quite kind of satisfied, that's what we have been told, with his explanation. And now, of course, as he says, we'll wait for the wind, which way the wind blows. The wind is clearly blowing towards withdrawing the ordinance. But we'll have to wait and see, because, as I said, there's so much of political hypocrisy, be it the BJP, be it the Congress party, be it any political party, all wanted to ensure that there were safeguards for sitting MPs and MLAs. And it's in this backdrop that ordinance was sent to the President for promulgation. It's a different matter that the President himself was unsure for the compelling reasons, and that's made everybody do a rethink.